Damn. Y'all feel that?
Yeah. 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 A message to all you pseudo spitters. The sound is cool, but the trend I see is the truth is missing. I feel the flow is stupid. You claim that the music's different. I guess it's all opinion, depending on who was listening.
What's the word, y'all? It's KTR podcast, hashtag KTR. We are KTR. We are back in the building for episode 80. Yes, that is right. We're on episode 80 right now for y'all. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming, but we are finally here. No Roast Podcast, hashtag KTR, and we finna dive into this show real quick just for this one time. But before we get into the show, I gotta check in with my brothers real quick, and that is Big Harv and J-Bo himself. And my brothers, how are y'all feeling today?
Cold as hell, but I feel the love from my brother. So I'm doing good today, man. Doing good. Warm love. What about you, Big Harv?
That was nicely said, man. That was sweet. That was very, very sweet of you. Yeah, man, it's Friday. I'm always happy when it's Friday.
Yep, it's Friday. Get paid. It's weekend time. And finna be outside. But before y'all go outside real quick for this weekend, y'all gotta do this one simple favor for us on this episode, and that is to follow us on all social media platforms, KTR_podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, No Roast Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, No Roast Podcast, all podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, popping on everything. And don't forget to get that merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KTR Podcast. Let's go. Let's get into the show. I got my flow back. Yes, I did not mess up because last episode I kind of stumbled here and there, but we are back in action.
CM Punk. Oh, my bad.
Well, Big Harv, I didn't tell you about the topics, but that's the number one topic on the page right now. And yes, it is about the return of CM Punk. We want to return. That's right. That's kind of wild, but we'll dive into this real fast. Like I said, we want to wait for everybody to get their reactions out real fast and everything. But also, we recorded for 2 weeks, so we couldn't record it later. So it just happened now. But CM Punk has now returned to the WWE after 10 years of being away from his independent projects with UFC, AEW, independent commentating, this and that, whatever. So yeah. But now he's back. And with that, I'm gonna check in with my brother to see how they feel about CM Punk's return and what is to come in the future of the WWE and with CM Punk. J-Bo, we're going to start off with you real fast. We're going to dive into Big Harv at the end. I'm going to go second. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm actually glad that we're talking about his return now that the dust has started to settle and that hell is starting to warm back up since it broke over with him coming back. Here's my thing. CM Punk, the name itself is automatically going to get notoriety. It's going to get main event matches. It's going to get storylines. It's going to get everything that you would expect out of CM Punk. CM Punk is, especially at in mic work, is not going to change. They're going to give him credit for it. He's going to be great on the mic. I'm not taking anything away from that. But the one thing I am going to be a little bit more of a stickler on, and this is only because I've seen what he's done in AEW, is going to be his in-ring. Even if you was a fan of CM Punk or not, 10 years ago, or even Ring of Honor, if you really want to go back, you get a really good, entertaining match with CM Punk. No question. But you look in AEW, and I'm talking more of his recent matches. So I'm talking like his last few matches he had with Samoa Joe before his feud with Adam before leaving. It was a botch fest. It was a botch. It was not the CM Punk that we look forward to have. But despite how his matches are, his mic work is still great. CM Punk is still CM Punk. People are still going to pop for him. And especially like what happened at Survivor Series, no one expected for it to happen, so we're going to give that initial pop. But as time settles down, once the feud with Seth Rollins going, I think that's still going to be fine. I think I'm not going to be as impressed as I used to be if anything that we saw in AEW is going to show itself in WWE. And honestly, with his age and the fact that he said he came back just to make money, I'm not expecting much in-ring rise. So entertainment value, since this is WWE, that's what we're going to pay for. That's what we're going to get. I do give him that. But I'm not too optimistic about the type of in-ring work that we're going to get. It's going to be based on the backs of whoever he's going to be in the ring with, and honestly go from there. So congratulations, CM Punk, on coming back. You're going for the money, which at this point is the only thing you really need to do. But that's about all I'm going to say at that point.
Answer rebuttal off of that. Like I said, I'm all about for people making money. I'm all about money. I love money. Money is the root to my heart right there. And so with that, I ain't mad at him for coming back for a check. You know, that's the biggest check you're going to get in the wrestling industry from anywhere and anybody. So it is what it is. You know, take it. I get it. I understand. But at the same time, I am not ecstatic about his return necessarily. I just think now it's just personally just a waste of space. You know, like I said, I get it. Like, no, he is top tier on the microphone. I'll give him that. Like he can cut a promo. You know, he get your attention on the mic. And that's my thing. That's my spiel right there. I like entertainment, you know. Like you can talk the talk, you can walk the walk. But the thing about that, walking is getting a little limp for him right now. Because the in-ring, I'm worried about the in-ring work. It's going to take up space for other future superstars and have that opportunity for, like that title contention. You know, if they put him up in that feud with Seth Rollins, if they have him take away an opportunity from somebody else to have a title, because I'm not sure if he will be that person to, like, I guess, put somebody over in the long run necessarily. I don't know. That's just me. The Big Harv is looking around right now. He's ready. He is ready to unleash and speak. I can feel it. But I'm not really big on like him returning. And like the thing about it's just how long will he be there? How long will he last in that locker room? Like how long will I guess personality will go hand in hand with the other new personalities in that locker room per se, because it's a lot different was 10 years now to today. So that's my thing. But with that, like saying, I ain't gonna knock somebody down for having a job and getting a check. So it is what it is with that. But he's like, my thing is he's just taking somebody else's spotlight that could possibly be there for the World Wrestling Entertainment to build somebody else into that next spotlight for your next World Heavyweight Champion, whatever title that name that Seth Rollins got, right? Whatever. So yeah. So that's just my thing. And we'll just pass on to Harv right now because I feel like he has a lot to say. So go ahead, Big Harv, unmute yourself, speak your mind, and talk about your savior, CM Punk. The floor is yours.
First and foremost, congratulations to CM Punk. All right. Nobody saw it coming. I can't believe this man got hired again. Honestly, can't. I don't know what kind of pictures of blackmail he got, but it worked for him. All right. Great job. Hell of a job. Proud of you. I find it odd that we're talking about taking away opportunities, but we love Charlotte Flair and roided Randy and John Cena so much. I find that odd. But okay. We're not going to stick to that too much. I also.
But what opportunity has John?
No, it's fine. We'll talk about that after. Okay, we'll get to that. I'm actually, if he sticks to what he says, I'm happy for Punk being there. I think he's going to be more of a part-timer. As we've seen, he's been back for almost a month, and he's only been on Raw. He'll be on SmackDown tonight. So I think that's going to help with AEW. He was on TV pretty much weekly when he wasn't hurt. But I got to disagree with the in-ring aspect. He's not who he was 10 years ago. Neither is John Cena. Neither is Randy Orton. Neither is anybody who's long in the tooth and that's been in the industry for a long time.
Why keep naming him specifically?
What's going on? I thought the floor was mine.
You're right.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going on. I just feel like we don't give him the same kind of grace because he's a controversial figure and he does cause more havoc than then I guess he's not bringing the locker room together like he wants to. I feel like he sticks his nose in a lot of stuff that he shouldn't. So if he sticks to what he says he's going to stick to, it'll be a lot easier for him. But I don't think he's terrible in ring. I don't think he's missed as many steps as we're alluding to. He can't do a lot of things that he used to, just like the people I mentioned can't do a lot of things that they used to. As long as he adjusts his style to that and he has limited amount of matches, he'll be fine. As far as him taking opportunities from other people, I don't see that either. We have been talking about how WWE can't build people. The only people that he could possibly take an opportunity from is like Drew McIntyre. There's really nobody else on top who they're building to be at that level that he's taken an opportunity from that I can think of. I can think of Drew, and I can think of the briefcase. I don't know why I always forget his name, because I always want to call him Martini. Punishment. Yeah. So those are only two people I can really think that he's actually taking something from. In AEW, he didn't even want the title originally. He had to fight against trying to get the title, and they put the title on him. I'm hoping they don't give the title to him immediately. I also don't think that that's a great feud for him and Seth Rollins right out the gate. I really think he should start smaller. But again, we got to think about WWE's booking as well. We can't just put it all on Punk. It's not Punk who's going to take opportunities. It's WWE who's going to book him to take those opportunities. So all in all, I think it's a positive if he stays the course, if he does what he has to do, what he should do at this time in his career, and not try to be a locker room leader when it's not needed, not be so forceful with his advice or whatever it is he's trying to give people.
So my thing, however, I didn't mention anything about his behind the scenes drama because we spoke on it a lot when he was in AEW. The reason why I didn't speak on it now is because if he meant what he says, yes, I'm back, to make money, not to make friends, then his focus is linear, which is fine. That will give you your leeway to having a better time there. And true, I also agree that, if he does do more part-time, then it'll give him more time to recover in ring and things like that. But at the same time, CM Punk never really had a extensive in-ring moveset, if you think about it. He had, just naming a few. He had the running knee to the turnbuckle. He had the elbow drop. He had the GTS. He had the
he developed his own 5 moves of doom. I talked about that after he was talking trash about Cena having his own. I didn't like that either towards the end of his WWE run. Mm-hmm. I agree, but it's also WWE style. That's not something you can really knock him for.
And that's true. It's just if CM Punk came from, let's say he did the UFC thing, he didn't go to AEW, but he came back to the WWE. I would not have a recent in-ring example of how he is. And I'm just going off, like I said, the last few matches that he had literally before they let him go, he walked out, whatever he has. And those matches, they were not good. Now, going back to Harv's point, it could just simply be the fact that he had a lot of drama backstage and he was in the ring more often than none. But at the same time,
recovering from that injury and AEW style, you also have to credit the styles are different. The people that he's wrestling against and the kind of match that they're trying to put on for that crowd is going to be completely different than what he's going to be allowed to even do in WWE.
So with that, so I agree with you. We can definitely give him that chance. Just
we don't have no more 5-star matches. Absolutely not. That's never going to happen again.
And I never expected a 5-star match with CM Punk because, again, his in-ring maneuvers for me was never that big. I always thought of him as a simple in-ring wrestler type guy, and it worked for him because he had his mic skills to take over for that. So, since WWE is a much safer style, more long-term ability, and if he's part-time, then that'll work out. But I definitely need to see what happens first. And so far, just what I've seen on his last run at AEW, it's hard for me to be optimistic. Just me.
I get that. I feel like there's a lot of factors that we got to consider. But I get that. I get why you'd be apprehensive.
Yeah. I was wondering why you just kept bringing up John Cena and Randy Orton name for some odd reason.
And Charlotte.
And Charlotte.
Because they come back and snatch title shots whenever they want them without earning them, and we don't bat an eyelash. But we assume that as soon as CM Punk come back that he's going to get a title shot, just like we assumed Cody Rhodes was going to take the title off of Roman Reigns, and that didn't happen. So we don't know what WWE's plans are. It makes sense for them to try to put the title on him pretty quick, given that it's been rumors that Seth Rollins is probably going to be doing some Hollywood stuff coming up, and CM Punk moves the needle when he pops up. He does. He's a merch seller. He's a guy that's going to make some money for him. So I could see why they would want to do that. But ultimately, he coming back after 10 years versus Orton, who came back and just declared he's going after Reigns.
Bloodline.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything to earn that. I'm sure that the storyline will make more sense, but he just came back and declared it. Same thing Cena can do with any title that's there. Same thing Charlotte will do with any women's title. So I'm just saying, if we gonna point the fingers, we got a lot of them fingers to point.
I'm just saying, Charlotte has earned everything that she has gotten so far in the WWE. I am sure. Moving on, though, from that topic, I am sure. But like,
sure.
Man, this man. Since we're talking about Randy Orton real quick, we could just hop back into that. No, he's back in the WWE. I'm happy. One of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. But now he has chose to be on SmackDown instead of Raw. Like he said, to attack the bloodline, get his revenge. But there's a thing about that. There's a little twist. For all those people who were planning or are planning to attend Monday Night Raw that's coming to St. Louis in February, are probably pissed because Randy Orton decided to go to SmackDown and now they can't see him in his hometown.
I'm pretty sure Randy Orton will show face on Raw. Pretty sure
I'm trying to see how. I mean, it's possible. You know, they like I said, they don't respect the brand thing. So yeah.
And they got time to find a reason to throw him over there at least for one night, pop up and get that big pop in St. Louis.
Yeah, but like I said, we'll see about that. But like, what do you think is Randy Orton's future over there with SmackDown? You know, is that going to continue like the Bloodline feud? I guess is he going to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns because he hasn't had a one-on-one match with him yet.
Honestly, you want to go or
no? You go ahead.
I think that they've been playing the Bloodline thing wrong ever since they split up the Usos. They've just been playing it wrong, and the Bloodline has never looked as weak as it does. I predict that Orton is just going to run through Jimmy, and then he's going to run through Solo and make both of them look weak, and then he's going to go on to Reigns. He's probably not going to win the first match they have 1-1, but it's a big possibility that he could be the one to end Reigns' reign. But I do think that it's just going to further diminish what the Bloodline was a year ago. That to me is the biggest crime. They should have been ended this storyline if they didn't have anything else for it. Now it's just looking like it's a shadow of what it was last year. Last year we couldn't stop singing praises, and now it's just like ended already. Tired of the Bloodline. They're not doing anything good with it. So I think that that's Randy Orton's path. He is going to try to run straight through the Bloodline and get to Roman Reigns.
I've always been type of person that, as far as Roman Reigns' reigns go, that someone should dethrone him leading to the next person. So, you know, when Cody had the opportunity, heck, you heard me on the show, like I was in heavy support of Jey Uso at the time, you know, throwing him because I want Roman Reigns' reign to like set up the next thing. Randy Orton, I mean, come on, Randy Orton is already extremely established. Realistically, he's one of, honestly, the only ones I can see take out. But after that, I mean, I don't really see what else is left for Randy Orton. The only thought that'll come to my mind, and I'll admit I don't like it, but the only thing that I can see come in mind is Randy Orton being the one, as Harv mentioned, to go through the Bloodline, take off the title from Reigns, and then in some weird fashion, they set up Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes since they had some type of history with each other. And then that'll be like a passing, I don't want to say passing the torch, but like Randy Orton handing the title to Cody, finish the story. I hate it, but if we're looking for WrestleMania already setting up Randy Reigns now, I can kind of see that. It's not my preferred method, as Harv mentioned. Yeah, they messed up when they split up the Bloodline I mean, they split up the Usos. They really messed up when Cody Rhodes lost because there was really nowhere.
They didn't have nothing after that.
They had no other wrestlers left.
Yeah. So it's just been up and down, and lately it's been down. So that's what I see with it. But anyway, I'm happy Orton's back. That's all I can say.
Exactly. I'm ecstatic that Orton's back too. I can't complain.
That boy big as Brock Lesnar now, ain't
he? Yep. And with that, like I said, Randy, I agree with both you said because I don't see what would happen after Randy Orton wins the title. Like future planned out storylines of like what could happen, like what developments could come about of it. Because like at this point, I want Randy Orton to get to that 16-time champion. They'll make him a 50-time champion if he wins against Reigns. But it's like, like I said, what is more to develop after that? Like, what is more they can do? Like this, I feel like I said, I love him, but it's like not much to look forward to with the title reign. It's like, okay, he has it, and it's like, okay, he's gonna be defending. Like I think Randy Orton is like a good filler for like.
Yeah, we all know Randy's a transitional champion. We know that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so like if we just being honest, yeah. So that's what I didn't want to get the benefit of that, but it's true. Like I'm saying, it's like it's not gonna be a long time reign if he gets the title. So like that's the thing about it's like I just don't like at this point I don't see him having nothing for like over 3-4 months. Yeah, so we just need that quick change. So like I said, it'll tie into what we're gonna talk about later. But like I said, happy he's back. It's been a long time coming, 1.5 years of waiting, and not gonna be back on Twitter again tweeting about wrestling because that's why I was taking a hiatus because he wasn't on TV. So here's what it is. We're gonna take it back a little bit from on our next topic. We're gonna go to the developmental center area. We're gonna go to NXT real quick. NXT, y'all need to stop playing and give us what we want. We want to see this Trick Mello game feud. All right, we want to see it happen. Just unleash it, man. Just gotta wait. Just let it happen. All right, we see it coming. Just let it happen. I know we being a bit impatient. Y'all probably saving it for April for WrestleMania weekend. I get it, but man, just let it happen. Just let it happen. I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know the development of it, but it has to happen. I don't know the end result about it. I don't know if it's going to be for a title. Then after that, they're going to go to the main roster afterwards. I don't know if they're both going to go or one's going to go, but something is going to happen. What do you think is going to be the climax of this feud, if it happens, the ending of this feud, and the future to come from Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes?
You got to wait on it, man.
Wait on it. Too much teasing, man.
And this is exactly how it's supposed to work. We talked numerous times on how they both can have a career where they can be a tag team with each other, but they can also have like a respectful singles careers individually because Trick Williams has definitely elevated himself. Melo has already proven himself. So the fact that they're teasing this feud where the inevitable is going to happen is going to pay off. Because Melo is doing his job. Trick is doing their job. In the ring, they're both doing great. Just wait on it. Whatever the ending is going to be, especially with somebody like, the current creative that they have in NXT, whatever it is going to be great. Regardless, if Melo comes out on top, Trick will still be fine. If Trick will come out on top, Melo will be fine too. I think that'll be more of a shocker since I guess Melo is seeing more of this world champion appeal, if that makes sense. But regardless of who comes out on top, they'll both be fine. They'll both go to the main roster, and yeah, they'll be fine. I don't care how it turns out. I'm loving this team. I'm not really liking this whole Lexus King involvement. I think they just threw him in there because obviously he's the son of Brian Pillman Jr. and they really see him as a big star. And I'm not saying that he's not. It's just I don't know. I don't really like his involvement in this current feud right now. But I digress. They'll both be fine. We'll be fine.
I agree with J-Bo. You got to let that stew, man. It is so rare that you get a feud that you anticipate like that in WWE, which is why you should just ride that. And that's why everybody, you just got to sit back and enjoy it because they pull the trigger too fast so often, and then it's lackluster. The more history they build, the more tension they build between the two, the better the explosion is going to be. So I'm with you because I want to see it. All right, y'all got me watching them too. I didn't really care about them until y'all start talking about them so much. So I'm with you, but we got to let that happen in the natural course. Just let it unfold.
Here, I'll piggyback off of Harv. Think back when Sami Zayn finally turned on the bloodline. We all saw it coming. We knew it was coming. When he finally hit the chair shot, it was great. Same thing with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens finally hugged it out, and the crowd went wild. Like it, as Harv mentioned, that slow build going to be worth it. We're going to have the same feel when that climax happened for Melo and Trent. Just gotta wait on it.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. So this is my question. When you think that snap moment is going to happen? Like who is going to go against who?
Oh, Melo's going to be the one revealing himself turn on Trick. They're going to keep Trick as the.
That's what I think. It makes more sense because Trick is still building, basically. He's still building the blocks for his career, and it makes more sense for Melo to turn.
Yeah.
So when do you think it will happen?
About a month or so before Mania.
Because that's what I was thinking. Mania season. That's perfect time to pull that trigger.
Yeah, because I think like they're teasing it right now. Where okay, they're about to snap. But then something happens, and then they work out. They work out, and all right, everything's cool. But then right when you least expect it, that's when Melo turns, and that should be about a month or so before Mania.
Yeah, it's hard to resist those Mania crowds. You know how thick those crowds gonna be. You know how loud those pops gonna be. So it only makes sense to smooth it out until then.
I say, if that match happens, that WrestleMania, I'm going to the show. We're going to the show. I gotta see that match live in person. I don't care. I have to. It's only right. Cause man, that's the only thing I'm looking forward to at this point. Because everything else right now is like, but it is what it is with that. So, slight note since we're talking about NXT, can we please leave NXT titles on NXT, please? I don't understand this. Why are we bringing Dragon Lee back down to NXT to fight for a North American title? I don't get it. Because it seems like they've been pushing him real hard and strong on SmackDown for the past few weeks, gave him his own individual match on Survivor Series. Now he's fighting for the NXT title. If y'all want to have another secondary title, just make one.
Seriously. I just don't get why the Cruiserweight title is not a thing still. It really should be.
Right at this point, because these are Cruiserweights fighting each other right now.
Yeah, exactly. They should just re-implement that into the company. It makes no sense for it to not be there.
Yeah.
For you to have people fighting for the NXT titles who were just on SmackDown or Raw, and then they just jumping around. It ruins a lot of stuff.
Right, because everybody that's been fighting for the North American title is small. So like that's what I'm like.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the people are underneath 205 pounds or at best 205 pounds. So like y'all might as well bring the Cruiserweight title back, so you can have those smaller wrestlers compete for something. And that could be a good way even to push title up. You have like a small wrestler who's like a top contender in WWE, that could boost and elevate that title just for the hell of it. So bring it back.
Man, for a while, when they toward the end of the Cruiserweight title picture before they retired it again, they had it defended on all the shows,
right?
Even NXT. So it's a good way for you to actually have a title that's meant to transition people from one show to the next, instead of using an NXT title that we know is for NXT, and then just using people from other brands to fight for it. I don't get it.
Yeah, me neither.
Seem like simple fixes. I don't get why they do stuff sometimes.
Right. Leave the North American title down on NXT so you can give those other wrestlers opportunities, because now you're taking away, you having Rey Mysterio's son take away opportunities from actual wrestling workers. That's my thing. That's a big red flag for me. We got this Rey Mysterio's son is taking away opportunities from other wrestlers who's been working their ass off in this business. Okay, I'm going. I'm gonna stop. Moving on. Last topic of the day before I go on a rage rampage about Rey Mysterio's son. Since we're talking about let's say WrestleMania season, there is something that comes up that leads to WrestleMania. The road to WrestleMania always starts with the Royal Rumble. the person who has a guaranteed opportunity to fight for whatever title they want to fight for. No, it is what it is. No, both men and women. Women can pick what champion they want to fight. Men can pick what champion they want to fight. So, with that being said, who are your top 2 predictions of winning the Royal Rumble on the men's side and the women's side? So, pick 2 men and pick 2 women. Who do you think? It's kind of wide. It's kind of wide range right now because it's really out there. I don't know who they are going to pick for that, but like, who do you think?
I'm gonna say Drew, and unfortunately, I'm afraid that they're probably gonna have CM Punk win the Royal Rumble. I'm very nervous about that. I think that would be a terrible, 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 terrible move. But I do think that's something that's floating around in their heads. But Drew is my top pick. I really like how they're building him right now. And I hope that they keep him in lower, more steamy feuds, teasing him toward the top, but not actually giving him that opportunity so that something like the Royal Rumble would come off better. For the women, I really don't know because everybody's pretty much 50-50 there. I would love to see something where Damage Control, somebody there is facing against, I guess, Bailey and Sky would go against each other. That wouldn't be bad to me if Bailey won the Rumble. But as far as the second, I don't know because everybody's pretty much stagnant. They don't really, unless you have the title, you're not really pushed to the forefront. And then even people with the title don't. The women's title to me hasn't really, on either side, hasn't really been exciting for a while.
J-Bo.
Well, I'll actually start with the women's side, which is kind of surprising. I'm actually shooting for Dakota Kai if she's not hurt, mainly because I think that she is the dark horse in the entire Damage Control group, and I think that she'll get a good pop. This is on the cups if what's the name? Io Sky is still champion by then, but I would love to see Dakota Kai get her shine. I think I said this on the last episode, but I would for her to get her shine. As far as somebody else, I really don't know. Women's side is just so wide right now where there's no legitimate contenders for the belt right now. So I don't see. Well, maybe Becky. I can see Becky since they're bringing her back in and they're still trying to push her high. I can see her being one going against Rhea. They're looking for a big name at Mania, so maybe. Not what I suggest, but Dakota Kai is probably my person.
Oh, sorry. I think they might go ahead and introduce Jade at the Rumble too. That might be a move. They might introduce Jade and have her run the gauntlet, and then have her be her first big match at Mania. That wouldn't be bad at all.
You just took my pick.
I'm sorry, it popped in my head.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know about, and I think the only reason why I'm skeptical about Jade is because they will be putting a lot on her shoulders for her to come in at the Rumble, win, and already have a main event match at Mania.
But she has some beautiful shoulders.
Stop it. And then, I don't know, men's side. Men's side is actually between 3 people. Harv already mentioned 2 of them, which was Cody and Drew. Drew, as Harv mentioned, he has a great build, and it's been a while since they had a heel win the Rumble. I think Lesnar was the last heel that won. I don't know. I could be wrong on that one, but I would love to see Drew win. CM Punk would be a terrible move, but if they're trying to build towards Seth Rollins, I can see that. And unfortunately, the third option will be Cody Rhodes. If they still want to go down the line of having him and Roman Reigns for the second and last time to finish the story, or if Randy, or like I mentioned earlier, if Randy Orton wins the belt and they go down that line, I can see Cody and Reigns. But yeah, I know you said 2, but those are the 3 that stands out the most to me at the moment.
All right. Well, for me, I had Jade Cargill, so that was my pick for that one. Harv ruined it. And the second one, Harv made me think about it. I could see Bailey, like I said, somebody just to turn against, Io Sky, and so she can be back. Because we need another face on the women's side for a rest, because there's a lot of heels currently right now. So bringing Bailey back to being a face, making her champion and give the title like a little bit more prominence, I feel like that'll work out best for that. So yeah, so that'll be my choice with that, because she'll fight Io Sky, but Jade Cargill is my choice, and she'll probably fight Rhea Ripley, and I could see her being the one that's in that ring with her. So that's that. Now for the men, it's kind of difficult. I really don't. It's out there.
Is it that it's out, or none of the picks really favor?
None of the picks favor. That's my thing. Like, I don't want to say CM Punk because, and it's what Harv said. It makes sense in WWE world if that happens, but I don't want that to happen. So I'm not going to say it's going to happen.
I don't even want that to happen.
Yeah. So, I don't know who will win for the men. Like, Drew McIntyre sounds legit just to give him his second chance at becoming a champion in front of people. And it makes more sense because he could be a good dominant champion on his own. Like, he can hold his own on his, like, yeah. So either that or I don't know, Braun Strowman.
Wow.
I don't know, man. The man side is all over the place. If he returns at that point, then yeah, Braun Strowman. I don't know.
Is Braun still working there?
Yeah, I saw him on WB Instagram the other day.
He said Braun Strowman.
I don't know who else will win the Braun.
Not all about Big Braun.
Right. I mean, I would say LA Knight, but like LA Knight's like, popular in heights, just like, it's starting to trickle down now ever since he lost and they got these like these little mini card tag team pointless feuds. So that's that. And like Roman Reigns has been through everybody in the business so far. That's like a top star athlete. So I'm trying to think. Roman Reigns could not lose to somebody he's already beat. That's my thing.
Yeah, they haven't built anybody for that to make sense.
Yeah.
So, it would be different if they was building somebody as like a redemption type thing. Like they was been shitty since Roman Reigns and the Bloodline whooped their ass, and now they just like on a tear and they building up like, maybe they can beat them, but no, it ain't nobody like that.
Right. And I keep forgetting about Damian Priest has a Money in the Bank contract. I don't know when he's gonna use that. So
they got to keep that as long as possible.
Yeah, they do.
They haven't made any good moves with him. They kind of position him more as the leader of Judgment Day. He talks a lot more and calls a lot more shots, but they haven't really built him. They're not doing anything for him.
Yeah, so I don't know.
He did mention a good point. He said that, I forgot he was the Money in the Bank. Well, actually, that's the goal. Is what people I think about. It's
why I want them to hold on to it as long as possible. That's why.
Yeah, so like that'll play a part in like when whoever wins the title, like whenever that match gets brought. I don't know. See, we gonna see.
Yeah.
We got a lot of work to do from now until April, until when we touch down in Philly. Get myself a Philly cheesesteak. Yeah, we're going to be there at WrestleMania season. Don't y'all worry. But until then, we are signing out for this episode. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for supporting everything. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the listens. We appreciate the views. But until then, we about to sign out. But before we sign out, y'all got to do one simple favor for us, and that is to follow all social media platforms, KTR_podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, No Rules Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, No Rules Podcast, all podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, probably want everything. And don't forget to get that merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KTR Podcast. Let's get in, let's go, and let's get off the show. This is episode 80, No Rules Podcast, #KTR, and we are, out. Yeah, I had the finger point, because like if I point one way, you're on the opposite. Yeah, we out, J-Bo.
Harv, what should I do? Just tell them what they should do.
Pump those numbers for the best wrestling podcast in St. Louis. The best in the world. The best in the world. In this ring, on that mic, even that commentary. Nobody can touch us. CM Punk.
CM Punk. We signed up.
CM Punk.
That don't compute in my mind. I must be out of mind. Black fist high, rally up before we out of time.